Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
I've entered using a separate account, but this is Shikonjuguna speaking.
Okay, no problem.
So Enoch, can we start?
Let's wait. Wait. Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, you want to start our session now? These participants are low.
Hello.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, our today's session is about nutrition of a pregnant woman. Our speaker today is Mrs. Purity Njuguna, and moderator is me, that's Enoch Ruto. SRH ambassador at PDY. Yeah, so I can say thank you for joining now. I still wait. I don't think we still wait for the others. We can start now. This better time is going on. So I welcome you, our speaker today. Yeah, your platform is yours now. You can start the session.
Okay, thank you. You can share the presentation. Good evening, all. My name is Purity Wanjikonjuguna. I'm a clinical nutritionist. Currently, I'm not attached with any hospital. I'm working privately as a consultant nutritionist, and I'm going to enjoy speaking to you about the nutrition and the well-being of a pregnant woman. Yeah, so welcome all. I can see some of you I know. Yeah, karibuni sana. So Enoch, please share the presentation I had sent.
Okay, wait. Okay. Wait a bit.
So before we start, what do you know about the nutrition for pregnant women? Let's just start and brainstorm. What do you guys know about the nutrition of a pregnant woman? Is there something special a pregnant woman needs? Or is she just like any other person? Does a pregnant woman need to eat like any other person? Or do they need to eat something special? Teresia, you eat for two? Oh no, Teresa, not Teresia. You eat for two, anyone else? Anyone else?
They need to have a special diet.
What is special about it?
Because they're transferring their nutrients to the child.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to have a balanced diet.
Yeah. I see someone else, they need iron. Anyone else? Before Enoch gives us our presentation, anyone else? They should eat at least one extra meal, which I don't understand. Teresa also added fluid intake is also important. That's true. Nahashon, one extra meal. I don't understand what the extra meal should entail. Anyone else? Let's not tusifungie mtu nje. Yeah. Give your suggestions, what you think, what is so special about pregnant women? Why do we need to talk about the nutrition of a pregnant woman? Frederick says more proteins. Not sure though, ready to learn. Yeah, I'm glad about that. We're going to learn about all this. Anyone else? Any other ideas? Any other ideas? Don't be shy. Any myth, misconception, question that you want to ask, you can ask now.
I have a question.
Yeah.
About the cravings.
Yeah.
I feel like the cravings are overrated.
Why do you think they're overrated?
I feel like pregnancy does not have to come with all those demands that a lot of women say.
Yeah.
And you find like someone is saying that they're just craving for something like pizza the whole time. I understand that maybe there's some foods you may not be able to take, but I also feel that there's an overrating on the cravings. Is it true?
Okay. Well, different women will actually experience cravings, and it's different for different women. One will crave one thing, the other will crave the other. It's there's something called pica. It means that your body, whatever you're craving, some women crave some non-nutritive foods, which are an indicator that this woman is lacking something in their body. So for example, craving stones, you'll find kitambo kidogo, before it became a policy that that women need to take IFAS. You will find a lot of women, especially in Ushago where it's available, either eating those rocks that you buy, or eating the what do we call it? The mud houses, or eating those termites, the houses that termites build. You'll also find this very common with adolescent girls, especially once they start their periods. So yes, it's possible to crave. However, there are some who craves very salty things, some who crave very sugary things. We need to be careful of things like, for example, diabetes, gestational diabetes that occur during pregnancy. So when you give in to cravings like too much sugar, too much fat, you'll find that you're increasing your risk of getting problems like gestational diabetes. Enoch, have you been successful? Jeria, that's very right. They need to take more leafy vegetables for supplementation. However, the needs of a pregnant woman are so much higher than what leafy vegetables can give them. So it is recommended that every pregnant woman takes supplementation. Yes, nutrition is very important in the development of fetus. A lot of raw vegetables, fruits, mboga ya kienyeji, to each their own. Kama a lady, you'll find that along with the craving, some have food aversions. And this means that some ladies will not want to see any kind of mboga ya kienyeji, or will not want to see any kind of meat, will be averse to meat or eggs or any other kind of food. So along with the cravings, you'll find that some women also have food aversions. So whatever we're going to discuss, still inside that healthy diet for a pregnant woman, there has to be all those elements of carbohydrates, proteins, and vitamins and minerals. But we also consider that some women are averse to certain foods. Yeah. So Enoch, have you been successful? Enoch?
Hello.
Hello, have you been
It's like
successful? Okay.
This is my problem.
Let me try and download it.
Hello, Pretty.
So I'm sharing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So our topic today is the health and nutrition of a pregnant mother. My name, for those who've just joined in, my name is Purity Wanjikunjuguna. And today we are going to cover the importance of nutrition, a healthy diet for a pregnant woman, what are the common symptoms of pregnancy and how to manage them. We're also going to look at the developments, the modern developments that have gone into pregnancy and taking care of a pregnancy. So what is a pregnancy? This refers to the period that lasts between 9 months or 40 weeks. And this period lasts from the last menstrual period to childbirth. And during this period, either one or more offspring are developing inside a woman. So pregnancy consists of a series of small and consistent, continuous psychological and anatomical changes in the mother and the baby. So this series of small changes that are occurring place a different demand on the baby. By the time the child is 28 weeks or just as 28 days or 10 days, there's a certain change that has occurred both in the mother and in the baby. And those changes requires different, or rather places a different demand on the body of a mother. So why is nutrition important for pregnant women? To ensure the proper development of the fetus. So something like folate. If a mother lacks folate, you'll find that, especially at there are specific growth periods that are very crucial for the development of the fetus. So if a mother lacks a specific nutrient, for example, folate, you'll find that the baby is born with certain defects, especially meningomycel and things like that. So to prevent anemia, a mother lacking iron during pregnancy, it almost always ends in postpartum hemorrhage, anemia, which is dangerous for both the mother and the baby. It also contributes to high rates of intrauterine growth retardation. That means the baby will be born either too small for their age or of low birth weight for their age. So to prevent maternal and neonatal death, we need to make sure that nutrition is well taken care of. A mother carries a very great weight. Good maternal nutrition is important for a successful pregnancy, child delivery, and lactation. And this weight that we are talking about, we'll just see on our next slide. Each stage takes care of the next. So when a mother is pregnant, how that mother is taking care of that unborn baby determines how that baby is going to take care of the unborn baby physiologically. So if the mother lacks certain nutrients or if the mother is too small, let's say, for example, if the mother is has any form of malnutrition, those effects are passed on to the next generation. So you'll find that the child, if they're born female, they'll pass on, they'll have small children, just like their mother had a small child, a low birth weight child, or a child who's small for their age. Then their children will also be small, small, small. It's a cycle that is going to be repeated until someone begins to have proper nutrition before getting into the stage of childbirth. So a mother, the state of a mother affects the state of the nutritional state of a mother affects the nutritional state of their baby, and this is carried on all the way to when they give birth to their next offspring. And this next offspring, still the same thing, the cycle, it's a cycle. So it's best if we start having proper nutrition at a small age, so that when we come to the point where a mother is giving birth to their child or taking care of a child, they also have proper nutrition and they pass on proper how do I put it? They pass on proper health for that child to pass on to their next generation. So effects of malnutrition. Enoch, please mute everyone. There's a lot of background noise. I can just unmute myself. You can mute everyone. So what was I saying? Throughout the life cycle, it is important for all girls and all women to receive the proper nutrition. Are we together? Is there a question so far? So we cannot start looking at proper nutrition for a pregnant woman while she's pregnant. We need to start much earlier. So nutrition during the preconception period. So we've talked about what a pregnancy is. It's between, it takes 9 months from the last period to childbirth. But what happens, how do we take care of the woman who is planning to have a child? So even before pregnancy, good nutrition is crucial in ensuring positive outcomes of a pregnancy. So it is essential for a mother to take care of themselves during the preconception period when you're planning to start a family. How are you eating? It reduces chances of deficiencies that result in birth defects. It improves the fertility and chances of conception. Both the male, in this case, it's not just the woman who needs to take care of their nutrition and health, but also the man. So both the man and the woman need to focus on good nutrition at least 6 months prior to conception. Remember, malnutrition affects sperm quality, sperm quantity, and good nutrition prepares the female body for a successful pregnancy and delivery. During preconception, that's when you're preparing to start your family. And we've talked about 6 months. But remember, we talked about nutrition in the life cycle. You need to be having a good, a healthy diet, healthy lifestyle throughout your life cycle. You can't start when you're pregnant, or you can't start 6 months before you're pregnant. You have to take care of yourself throughout. And if we are parents, we need to take care of our children throughout. Okay. So preconception nutrients, fiber. Fiber is very important for blood sugar regulation. Remember, everyone has the right to be a parent, including those who have who have pre-existing conditions, let's say diabetes, hypertension, or any other disease. So they also need to take care of their preconception needs to prepare their bodies for successful pregnancy. However, fiber is important for everyone here. Also, magnesium is required for hormonal balance and resistance to stress. Selenium is very important for sperm health, good ovarian health. Zinc is important in the production of semen and testosterone and in ovulation and fertility. Vitamin B6 and vitamin E for fertility and hormonal balance. Fatty acids that are important for hormonal balance and healthy sperm cells, and protein for hormone production and proper growth. So that's just a nice diagram where we can stop and ask questions so far. Do you have any questions so far? Any questions before we go on?
Hi, have you talked about folic acid? Please.
Not yet. We're not yet at the prenatal stage. We're at the preconception stage, but we will talk about it.
Okay, but I think we can include iron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Iron is very important, and iron works together with folic acid in blood production. Remember, during pregnancy, the blood volume of a mother increases. So we need to take care of the mother. She needs to, like I said, throughout their life cycle, you need to take care of your nutrition and health such that you don't need to start relying on supplements just before pregnancy or during pregnancy. Nutrition in the life cycle is very important. And iron, like you've pointed out, is also very important, especially in preventing anemia. So we'll get to the diet of a pregnant woman. So Geria foods rich in fiber include all whole grain foods, for example, wholemeal bread, chapatis, also includes vegetables, fruits. These whole grain foods also provide us with those micronutrients such as zinc, selenium. They're also found in the dark green leafy vegetables, the legumes. As long as the mother is having a whole balanced diet, which includes carbohydrates, foods that provide carbohydrates, foods that provide protein, foods that provide vitamins and minerals, they will always be getting these micronutrients because they occur in almost every food. Can go on, or there's another question. Yes, Ezekiel, it's a new recommendation, and for other mothers, it's a personal choice that some go for, prefer to take IFAS for at least 3 months before pregnancy. However, not everyone has access to this, and not everyone has access to preconception care. So for those who do not have access to preconception care, what can they do? Maintain a healthy and balanced diet throughout their life cycle. But yes, it is true. It is a new recommendation, but it's not done everywhere. For some, it's also a personal choice.
Hello. The speaker is getting a problem. Let's wait for a bit.
Sorry about that. Enoch, please give me permission to share.
Okay.
It's still disabled. Jerry asked a question, what of losing some weight in preparation for conception for those over 70 kgs? So depending on the soon-to-be mother's BMI, you'll find that some obesity is also a factor in infertility. So yes, it's recommended that some women lose weight before conception. It's still screen sharing is still disabled.
Is it okay now?
No, not yet. Or if you the presentation, you can say, oh, good. So as I was saying, this pyramid illustrates the bottom part is the widest. So, and these foods, the carbohydrate sources, are our sources of energy, our main sources of energy. So they are this is the largest part. So when you look at our current guidelines, the vegetables and carbohydrates actually interchange, so that the vegetables should make up the most part of our diet, vegetables and fruits. And in this image, as much as it does not show it, we live in Africa, where you'll find that the micronutrient abundance in foods, since we find a lot of fresh food, is very available, although to some populations it's not. So when we get we'll get the more realistic picture here is that you'll get more leafy, dark leafy vegetables. You'll find more kienyeji vegetables, and you'll find more skumas, more what else do we find here? Spinach. Then we find courgette, we find grapes. So you'll find more vegetables here for us Kenyans than what you see here. And like I've said, the most recent recommendations are that the vegetables become the bottom part, the largest part of our diet. So proteins are also an important part of our diet. You can find them from animal sources or plant sources. And we also have fats and sugar. So what is a healthy diet for a pregnant woman? In the first trimester, it's recommended that they get about 36 to 40 kilocalories per kilogram per day. So this means in a day, it's about plus 300 kilocalories compared to a normal adult, let's say adult woman. So in this case, it just means that in a day they eat plus 150 kilocalories. This could be an extra snack between meals, an extra healthy snack in between meals, or just a little bit more in terms of the portioning of the meals. The second trimester, we add 300 kilocalories to the 36 to 40, and in the third, 300 kilocalories to the 36 to 40. So the WHO recommendations are that a healthy and well-nourished woman should gain about 10 to 14 kilograms during pregnancy. And you'll find that those who add more, some of them who add more than 14 kilograms during pregnancy are at a higher risk of developing gestational diabetes and macrosomia for the child. Macrosomia means that the baby is born overweight. So also you'll find that the baby who's born overweight also has glucose intolerance, or rather insulin intolerance, for the first few weeks or months, unless it's properly managed. So having a lower weight gain during pregnancy and having an over-the-top weight gain during pregnancy increases the risk of fetal and maternal complications. So when a mother is not well taken care of during the pregnancy and she gains more weight or she gains less weight, we are harming the mother and we're also harming the baby. Remember, all of us are responsible for this mother, the society, the community, brothers, sisters, fathers, and husbands, and brothers also. We're also responsible for the pregnant women in our families or society or communities. So what are the micronutrient needs for the optimal health of a mother and a child? So we'll talk about folic acid. Iron and folic acid also work together in making sure that there's proper blood production rather, and preventing anemia. Folic acid also works with vitamin B12 in preparation in manufacture or rather synthesis of enzymes that produce DNA for replicating and growing cells. The intake of folic acid during pregnancy and before pregnancy reduces the risk of birth defects for the brain and spinal cord. So you'll find that children with neural tube defects children born with neural tube defects are born because the mom lacked in folic acid or was deficient in folic acid or folate. In addition, deficiency in folic acid also is linked towards recurrent miscarriages, preterm delivery, and low-term birth weight. Iron demands increase in a woman as the pregnancy grows. So it's important that the mother sticks to their IFAS supplementation. So iron demands increase as the body conserves more than usual during pregnancy, and the growing fetus draws on maternal stores. So what we mean by having a healthy diet throughout the life cycle means that when you start eating well during pregnancy, the effects are not really felt because the baby does not, any nutrient that the baby requires is not most of the nutrients that the baby requires are not drawn from what you are eating. Rather, they are drawn from the maternal stores, what you've been storing. So it's important for the mother to take care of herself throughout the life cycle, during adolescence, during preconception, and even throughout the pregnancy. So increased intake of calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus for skeleton building. And this is the reason why supplementation is very important, because the diet as it is cannot fulfill all the demands that the pregnant woman requires. You'll find that some foods are also affected by bioinavailability, some micronutrients. So that means that some nutrients are not readily available to the body unless there are certain, unless we either change the form of the food or we change something about how the food is prepared. You'll find that, for example, some nutrients interact with each other, making the nutrient unavailable for the body. Or you'll find that certain, for example, if a mother is a vegetarian, the protein, the iron that we get from plant sources are not readily available to the body as compared to sources from animals. So a mother a mother who's not a vegetarian will receive iron more readily than a mother who's a vegetarian. However, constant visits to the antenatal clinic can always point out any problems such as iron deficiency, be able to counter this. fluid requirements. There's increasing pregnancy because of increased need. Increased amniotic are averse to plain water. So it can be flavored using a lemon or a teaspoon or two of honey. So just depends with different mothers. Some are averse to water, some are averse to other types of fluids. But remember, we don't mean that a mother, like it's unamkalisha chini na kiboko, si kiboko, but like sit down and drink 3 liters now. So this, remember, sometimes even the mother cannot finish everything that's on her plate. So small meals throughout the day and also small sips of water throughout the day. So a mother may not be able, for example, if there's a soon to be father here, and you've heard that the fluid requirements of a mother 3 liters per day, it doesn't mean that sasa unamkalisha chini na lita 2 unamwambia malize. She may not be able to, but sips throughout the day, and she'll be able to at least reach that. So what are the consequences of maternal micronutrient deficiency? So for folic acid, impaired cell division, megaloblastic anemia resulting in abnormal cell replication. Babies are born with neural tube defects such as anencephaly and spina bifida. You'll find that some children born of mothers with folic acid deficiency are also low in birth weight or small for their age. Iron anemia, which again is very dangerous for a mother during pregnancy or even after childbirth. Maternal deaths because of postpartum hemorrhage, and reduced transfer of iron to the fetus, increasing the fetus risk to iron depletion and anemia in early infancy. So a low birth weight and also neonatal mortality. So what are some of the symptoms of pregnancy or discomfort? You'll find that some mothers experience constipation. Remember, all these are different for different women. You'll find that one will have constipation, the other will just have normal fecal, or rather a normal, how do I put it in a nice way? The mother just goes to the toilet very comfortably. But for others, especially as the pregnancy grows in the 2nd and the 3rd trimester, you'll find that their constipation becomes even worse. And for some, you'll find that they will develop hemorrhoids. So for that case, it's recommended that you increase consumption of foods high in soluble and insoluble fiber. So this means that the mother should eat a lot of foods that are whole grains, and in this case, not just bread as that sentence says, but also cereals if they're eating cereals, chapatis if they're eating chapatis, vegetables, dark leafy vegetables, fruits that are high in both soluble and insoluble fiber. So perform regular physical exercises. It's actually a WHO recommendation that mothers should regularly exercise as much as they are possible to. So including in that recommendation, we also include increasing their fluid intake. Some mothers will have edema, which is the swelling of feet. However, there are cases where this is actually a danger sign for a mother. when you see that your feet are swelling, your hands and your face are swelling, it's very important. Or if you see a pregnant woman who has swollen feet, swollen hands, and a swollen face, to go to the hospital, because that is a sign of preeclampsia. Something else, hemorrhoids, that is connected to constipation, morning sickness, and a severe form of this is hyperemesis gravidarum, which is treated or it's managed medically. However, some of the things that you can do is avoid fatty and spicy food, eat dry foods such as biscuits, or eat small portions of food often. So sometimes you'll find that during this, when there's severe hyperemesis, a mother cannot even keep down even a sip of water. So it's important that not to ignore. It's important not to ignore certain discomforts. So for example, if you're a soon-to-be mother, or if you're a community health worker, or you're a soon-to-be father, if the mother reports excessive nausea or excessive morning sickness, it's important to recommend them for medical, more intensive medical checkup than just giving nutrition advice. So another thing is heartburn. So eat small frequent meals. Remember, even someone who doesn't have heartburn, who's pregnant, might not be able to finish a whole plate of food at the same time. So small frequent meals are recommended, and avoid large meals before bedtime. Remain upright while sitting, and even during sleep, you sleep with your head propped up. Eat slowly. During the process of eating, if you're eating quickly, or if you're chewing quickly, you'll find that you swallow a lot of air. So eat slowly, avoid fatty, acidic, and spicy foods. So is there another question, or should we tackle this first? So prenatal nutrition. Should be taken care of during antenatal visits, and it's very important for a mother, or rather, if your significant other is pregnant, it's very important to also involve yourself in the process, because it's rare that if a mother is honoring her antenatal visits, that this is not caught. They are always caught, and they are caught early. However, if you're returning to my previous point, if you're a significant other and you know that your wife or your girlfriend is pregnant, it's important to also follow up and catch this early. Learn about the signs. Learn about the signs of what their diet needs, like we've talked about. Make sure there's she has a healthy diet, so that she doesn't lack in iron. Make sure that her weight gain during pregnancy, and her cravings, she's not indulging. If she's craving sweet things, she's not indulging so much into it that she develops intolerance to insulin. If she's vomiting too much, just point out these things every time she's going to the clinic. So I want us to ask questions. Any questions so far? Rather, let's just finish. We are the last slides. So some of the pregnancy myths that you'll find is that some communities believe in restricting specific types of foods for women, unless it's alcohol, drugs. Nothing actually is restricted for pregnant women. They're just like the rest of us. So if it's not alcohol, cigarettes, or any other drugs, wine, That's not recommended. That is the only thing that is restricted. Some cheeses, some meats, some, what else? Yes, some cheeses I know are restricted because of the risk they carry. Some meats, deli meats, when you go to the supermarket and you order your hot dogs and your whatever is served, whatever meat is served at the deli, because of the risk of listeria. Yeah, other than that, some women are restricted from having too much coffee, but others can take because of anxiety and something like that. But some are okay with having coffee. So spicy food during pregnancy causes blindness in babies. This is not true. Experiencing heartburn during pregnancy means your baby will be born with hair. Funny enough, that's actually, I don't remember by who, by which university. No, John Hopkins. Yes, and they found that there are certain hormones that that affect heartburn. Certain hormones involved in growth of hair that will produce heartburn in mothers who are pregnant. So eating certain foods can make your baby dark or fair. That is not true. And a mother's cravings indicate the gender of the baby. That is also not true. So if you know any more myths, please tell us.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
I have a very funny myth, which scientifically, I mean, it varies from cultural to cultural, that when you are pregnant,
yeah,
they will say that you continue having sex, that it makes the kid come out strong. I think that's a myth. The only thing is, for other tradition, is a way to prevent men from going outside there. But nothing as far as the outcome of the baby is concerned as you continue having sex when your wife is pregnant. And it's a common myth. Sometimes in other tradition, they'll say, oh, you need to continue having sex so that the kid comes out without any problem, which is not true.
Any other myth, or if you want to contribute?
I don't know if this is a myth, but if maybe your girlfriend or your wife overeats, the baby will become too big, so giving birth becomes a problem.
Oh, Anne, we can't hear you clearly. Please write it in the chat.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
I want to comment about the person who has said about eating so much.
Yeah.
And okay, one thing we must understand that if the baby becomes too big, somebody needs to mute. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm talking about, you had talked about macrosomic baby.
Yeah.
And this will definitely be as a result of, you had talked of mother's weight, and also the eating habits.
Yeah.
If the mother is eating things that will generate a lot of glucose,
yeah,
it will end up increasing the weight of the baby. And so if the baby becomes too big, or rather using a layman's language, too big, and especially above 4 kgs, 4 kilograms, then there will definitely be a problem with delivery. And this is a mother who might end up with a cesarean section. So
Yeah,
about
that's
eating
true.
too much it's not really a myth. It could be a truth.
Yeah, so you'll also find that some of these women have cravings, either before pregnancy, they became pregnant while they were overweight. And also you'll find that some women have cravings that are unhealthy. And also this myth, it's actually a myth that you are eating for two. It doesn't mean you eat 2 plates at the same time. It just means that there are certain demands that are more. So the idea that you are eating for two can lead a mother to eat more than is required. And also you'll find that some either are overweight before getting pregnant, so the weight piles on, the weight during pregnancy piles on to that. If a mother develops gestational diabetes, you'll find that, or does not even develop, some will not develop gestational diabetes, but the baby will have more weight than they should have. So that's what we talk about. That's when we have children with macrosomia. And these children are also born with certain complications that they should not be born with. So weight is important to look at. Cravings are important for women. Okay, yes, they're important, but it doesn't mean that we overindulge. Something else that was mentioned, sex is also good during pregnancy. It's actually okay for a mother to, so long as she's comfortable with it, it's okay for the mother to have sex. But the benefits that are placed by the society, well, they could be okay, but it's not a problem as long as the mother is comfortable. Yeah. Any other myths? Let me check the chats.
Okay, have a myth.
Yeah.
Taking Tasker will wash the baby when in utero.
Oh yeah, so this is I've seen this myth that certain foods will wash the baby and make them either dark or make them brown. Yeah, that is a myth. The color of your skin depends on the genes completely. So yes, taking too much eggs, in some cultures, that is a myth that is taken very seriously for pregnant women, and it denies them the benefits that come with having eggs. The vitamin A, the albumin that has a lot of good protein. It's very important for a woman to not be restricted when it comes to food choices. So Alice, that is a myth and it's not true. The nose growing bigger, it's actually true. The mother has a higher, there's a study that was done that said that the mother has a higher requirement in terms of oxygen. So it becomes necessary for the body to adapt by growing the nose. Yeah. Yes, some say Coke washes the baby so that they become lighter. It's not true. Any other myth? We can go on. So how do you help a pregnant woman? So in terms of policies, whether you're, let's say someone here is an MCA or woman rep, aspirant, or they're currently sitting in that office, make sure that there are policies that take care of pregnant women, making sure that pregnant women get the proper nutrition, social, and community support. If you're in the family, reassure them that you care and that you'll take care of them. Notice these signs, remind them that, or notice that your feet are swollen today, able to ende kwa clinic, just make sure. Or if you find that their eyes are swollen, their face is swollen, today, I think there's something, we need to just ask the nurse. It's also good not to raise the anxiety levels because pregnancies are very highly anxiety. It's a period that is associated with a lot of worry, stress, and anxiety for a mother. So unamwambia tu, let's go and ask the nurse, tumuulize tu ini nini. And then, for example, if they've vomited too much that day, could be unaweza kuwa na hyperemesis, ama twende tu tuulize daktari. Remember also, make sure amekula vizuri, just watch out, ask them, umekula? What do you need? So encourage them to seek help, encourage the mother to maintain the antenatal care visits. I see there's some questions. Eating too much pepper bleaches the baby. Yeah, the idea that there's foods that will make your baby's skin color change is not true. Guinness, the mother's vascular system and the placenta. So whatever you take, whatever harmful substances that the mother ingests, for example, alcohol, will pass to the baby. And this is something dangerous that we don't want to expose the baby too early. So you'll find that some of these children are born, some of the children born from mothers who take alcohol during pregnancy will have a certain dependence as they grow up. So they'll either start engaging too early or become more susceptible to alcoholism than any other person, or they'll require what can we say? They'll require treatment for withdrawal symptoms, especially if the mother was excessively taking. There's also something called fetal alcoholic syndrome. So it's not a good thing for a mother to take alcohol during pregnancy. So developments in pregnancy care. So it is recommended that the mother should have the first contact at the ANC at 12 weeks and at least 8 or more contacts as much as possible. Previously, the recommendation was 4, but that's really not enough. Especially, so 8 or more contacts at the ANC. So there's also a low risk of mother to child COVID-19 transmission, either during pregnancy or through breast milk. So if you're pregnant, don't worry about, and you get COVID-19, don't worry about don't worry that you'll give your baby COVID-19. Or if you're breastfeeding, it does not pass through the breast milk. So due to the increased risk of distress during the pandemic, it's important that we give sociological and psychological support for our pregnant women. There's also mobile health today. There's no lockup, no lockdown. So we don't have hospitals at any time, depending on where you are. So in case there's a lockdown or something like that, remember, mobile health is an option. And nowadays it's very accessible. So making use of community health workers. So if you're in policy making, or if you're a parent, or if you are working at the hospital, it's important to empower community health workers. At the end, in case there's something at the hospital, they are the first contact with our mothers in our communities. So thank you all for joining in. And if you have any questions, we can have you can put them in the chat or just ask. Any questions so far? So thank you all for joining in. And I hope you learned something. Remember that to share some knowledge with someone else so that we're all, yeah, it is true that pregnant women do struggle with sleep during pregnancy. And you'll find that they stay up very late. And then during the day, if they're lucky enough, they get some sleep. It's a hormonal issue. It also has something to do with the fact that pregnancy is it's just associated with a lot of anxiety, especially as the months or the trimesters come. So Sharon, whenever you get the urge to sleep, because sometimes you won't be able to sleep if you're pregnant. So thank you all for joining in. So why are hemorrhoids common during pregnancy? One, because of the weight. And two, also hormones. But I will get back. Stay active. Sorry, one is to make sure they stay physically active. Two, increased fluid intake. And three, making sure that they eat high fiber foods. Yeah. Any other question? So I hope for the men here, you now know your role in terms of nutrition and health of pregnant women. Jerry, any other question? Biko? Who else? Enoch, I'm trying to look for the men. Nahashon, I hope you are now more educated about your role as spouses in terms of nutrition and health for pregnant women. Yeah?
Yes, we are, but maybe you could share the notes also.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, and I will send a small quiz, just a small one, don't be afraid, just to refresh your memories. So thank you again. So Enoch, what do we do next?
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Purity, the interactive and informative session. Now at its juncture, I want to ensure you fill the attendance form, please, before we close the meeting. Yeah. Let me check, maybe we still have a question. Yeah. Okay, at this point, we would like to, first of all, we say thank you for joining this session. And I want to welcome some participant, someone here, maybe if she has anything to say. If you have Katile here, Katile, you still with Katile? Mercy, if you have anything to say, please. Mercy Kitele.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, speaker, for today's session. It has been a wonderful one. Hope everyone has learned more about pregnancy and the complications that's come about it and how to go about it when you reach that time, or your wife or someone you know. Thank you so much. I would like to remind all the participants to sign the attendance list before leaving the session. And our speaker, thank you so much. And let's meet next week. Let's meet on Thursday for another session. And next week on Wednesday, we'll be having a mini presentation. Like, we're going to present our projects on Wednesday. I'll share the link for Wednesday on Tuesday. Have a blessed night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Group 3, Group 3 who are here to remember we have not done the project satisfactory, please.
Bye.